Katie, for you, what's it been like just to kind of get back in the flow of things? And I guess how do you kind of feel the offense has been flowing with you?
It's been, a little bit of a struggle just because, this is kind of new territory for me in terms of coming off an injury. But, Coach Gerlich and her staff does a very good job in terms of making sure I got caught up to speed really fast. So I'm really getting into the flow of my game the more and more I play.
Being a veteran, how have you kind of seen some of the younger players take on some roles where I know Bailey was starting and now she's kind of a little bit of a spark plug now for you all off the bench?
Yeah, so for like Bailey and Little Jazz, they just do a great job of bringing us energy. Obviously they both can score the ball at a very high rate, and just knowing their role and kind of just stepping into that and just doing a very, very good job at what they do.
Bree, for you, just last several games you've obviously started. I guess what's been kind of working for you, and do you kind of feel like you're finally in the flow of the offense now that you haven't, last year you only played 8 games and now you're on your 9th one now?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for me is just being happy to be back out there with my teammates and enjoying it, just having fun with it. And I know once I do that, everything come with me. Probably a couple games back, I was worried about my shot not falling, but I've got to the point now where I'm just enjoying it, and I'm just playing hard regardless if I'm on or if I'm off.
Speaking of that play, can you speak to what's gotten you into getting the rebounds? You're 2 away from a double-double today in terms of just getting to the boards. I guess what's that emphasis for you?
Yeah, I'm just trying to be consistent and play hard on offense and defense. That's what my team needs me to do, and I just want to be consistent on both ends.
This is a question for either one of you can answer first, but, Big Jazz coming in and also Ella providing that presence in the paint. Can you guys just speak on those two's performance today?
Yeah, they both did a very good job today. That's something that obviously in the Big 12 we need is a host presence, and I think they're both are doing a great job at, stepping into that role and really providing a post presence for us.
Yeah, same. I think that Coach has been challenging them, and they've really took that personal and are stepping up and at the right time, and we really need that going into Big 12 play. We really need both of them.
And speaking of going into Big 12 play at this point in the season, I guess, what is something that y'all do really well that you guys are excited to take on at Big 12 play? Or also, what's another point of the game where you guys are like, hey, we need to work on this a little bit more?
Got it.
Something I think that we do really well is shooting the ball. We shoot the ball really well, and I believe that we're starting to share the ball really well as well. And so those two things, we will be very dangerous. And then when we really have a consistent inside presence, it will open it all the way up for us. And then one thing I think that we need to get better at is probably rebounding and transition defense, just stopping the ball so we don't let them get down there and get easy buckets in transition and those type of things like that.
Yeah, I think something we do well is getting to the free throw line. Tonight we didn't do it as much as we have in other games, but so far this season I think we've been getting to the free throw line very well and making our free throws. And then something I think we need to get better at is just extending our lead. We'll go up 10, 15, and then sometimes in past games we've let them come back a little bit. Just, if it gets to 10, push it to 20 and stuff like that.
And also with Big 12 play coming up at this point with all these non-conference games and the way you guys are playing against these teams, it's really good competition. I guess what's the biggest lesson playing teams like McNeese, Colorado, going away to Vegas? How does that prepare you guys for Big 12 play?
Yeah, so some people might think that we're playing weaker teams, but all of these teams have been either picked to win their conference or those type of things. So so for us, it's always respect who you're playing, no matter who it is. And this is just going to prepare us because if we can get confidence, we know we can win against them. They're picked to win their conference. It gives us confidence in knowing that going into Big 12 play that we can play with anybody. And so I think it really just gives us confidence.
Anything else for Brie or Big Cat before we let him go? Ladies, congratulations.
I think that was one of our best defensive performances this season, and there were still some things obviously that we weren't real happy with, but at the same time, holding a team that averages 68 to 47, I think is a good defensive outing for us. I think McNeese is a really good basketball team. This is his first year there coaching, and he's got a lot of really good pieces, and they play really hard. And I thought that they exposed us in some areas that we knew were coming, actually, to be quite honest. And our kids responded with trying to fix those weaknesses. And I thought that our inside game was much better today. I thought the longer we played, the more confident our post players got. And then I think that our guards just handled that zone really well. I think it's easy to get kind of lulled out of your rhythm against the zone, and I thought that our kids stayed focused, stayed intense, made really good passes, and because of it, I think we were 2-to-1 assist to turnover ratios, so I think that's fantastic. So good, really solid win. It was great to see so many kids contributing, and I thought our entire team was locked in and focused for this challenge.
Coach, it was a really big battle of the boards tonight. I guess what's a couple lessons do you think the girls learned with, playing hard on the glass?
Yeah, they got to block out, right? They got to put a body on somebody. That is one thing that we talked about, a couple of the kids from McNeese, that they will shoot the basketball and they go after it. And I thought late in the game, particularly late in the fourth quarter, it got really physical. And we had to get tough and continue to play hard. I think we did give up like maybe 3 offensive rebounds in one possession there late. And it was just because those kids were going after it. So I think it's just good experience, obviously, for our kids to learn that every shot that goes up, we got to put a body on somebody because it's going to be even more physical when we get to Big 12 play.
Speaking of physicality, especially in the paint tonight, Big Jazz really providing those valuable minutes for you guys. I guess to you, how much of an X factor is she when she comes off the bench, and how much of a presence does she make on the court?
Yeah, she's made a huge presence for us. I think she's really, really solid in the paint, and when we can get her the basketball with 2 feet in the paint, she's pretty automatic. She either scores or gets fouled. They had some length to them tonight, and early, I think they blocked one of her shots, and she kind of hesitated a little bit after that, and then we really challenged her at halftime and into the second half of going back at them. And we also talked to our guards about the angles that they were trying to get the ball to the post players in, and I thought they did a good job of getting them better looks. But I was proud to see Jazz battle because I think she got a little irritated a time or two, had a little personal battle going on there in the paint, and it was good to see that because we need to see, some competitiveness and some, just that nature of, if you're going to come at me, I'm going to come back at you. So I was really glad to see them just stand up and be physical.
Ever since the season started, you had really good battles in non-conference play. You guys have seen a lot of different styles of offense and styles of defense. Do you think your non-conference slate has really prepared you guys now from 2 games out from being from Big 12 play?
Yeah, I think it is. I think every day that we practice and that we prepare for an opponent, our kids are figuring out how to play against different types of teams. I think that, like I said today, I think they're really fast. They like to shoot it quick. They do have an inside presence. And then that zone defense, I thought that was tough for us to play against them. So I think our kids have taken advantage of our schedule. I think that that we have won the games that we're supposed to win. Obviously if we go back to Jackson State, that was an eye opener for us, and not necessarily not any disrespect to Jackson State, because I think they're really good and I think they're very athletic, and they're going to win a lot of basketball games. But I just think that our kids have risen to the occasion, and every night they've battled and played well enough to win.
Coach, can you speak to Bailey and Jasmine Lewis in terms of what they've been able to do off the bench and just kind of accepting those roles and helping you scoring 21 out of your 31 bench points tonight?
Yeah, obviously we know they can score. We know Bailey can score in high numbers. It's really a matter of us competing in practice, and which she does every single day. There's no doubt about that. But also just finding the right rotations and what helps us, in the middle of the game. So I think Big Jazz is fantastic about coming in, and I think everybody's going to know when she comes in, we're getting her the ball, and it makes them have to change their defense, because with us starting a little bit smaller, they might have a little bit smaller of a lineup on. And so when we make that substitution, they have to counter or we're going to probably score. Secondly, I think Bailey just gives us so much energy. She's just so springy and bouncy, and she comes in and she can score immediately. She can defend immediately. She can make a play with a deflection. And that doesn't mean that she's not going to get back in the starting lineup too. I think that that's what I love about this team, is that we're going to have some internal competition all year long. And I think that it's fantastic when we can come in and you can either not see a difference that we subbed or that we get a spark. And that's the mark of a great team player and a great substitute.
I guess just to word it a little bit better, not starting lineups, but I guess do you kind of feel like the rotations are starting to kind of find themselves right now? Because it seems like with Big Cat now and the starting five, if you will, it seems like you got a lot of good passing. And then when you do get someone that's a little bit tired, you got Bailey, and then like you said, she brings in energy and all that.
Yeah, I've been trying really just watching film, grading film of ourselves, trying to get that rotation down because I do think that early in the season we were playing so many people, which is great. And we're going to continue to play a lot of people because I think that's one of our strengths. But I do think that we're starting to get a rotation down where we see the offensive production that we can get when we have to make some defensive adjustments. We can make those substitutions. But it's fantastic when you can go, 7 deep at least, and 2 of those kids are usually your high points.
Bree about this, but just to kind of see her in her 9th game where last year she only played 8. Have you kind of seen her get, I don't know if comfortable is the right word, but just, she can finally relax a little bit. And now she seems to just be playing basketball, she said.
I think no doubt. I think last year you saw a lot of stress in Bree when she played. I think that she was so worried about being hurt or getting hurt again. And I think she felt some pressure of what her reputation came with, because she's a really good player and she's got a lot of experience. I think we saw a little of that early in the year, maybe not necessarily when the season started, but even before that when we were starting practice. And it was good. It's good to see her just kind of relax. I think she truly is having fun. She's playing hard. She's communicating really well, like when she gets tired or, if she just needs a break for a minute or 2 or whatever. I don't know. And when she's coming out, she's being responsive. She's being a great teammate, a great encourager. And I think she's just really enjoying her senior year and taking advantage of not being injured. So it's fun to see her enjoy the game because that's the way it's meant to be played. And if we can get more of them to do that, I think we'll really have a good time.
Anything else for Coach? All right, Coach.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.